I need you to truly listen to me right now because the words I'm about to share are not easy to speak. They hold the power to shift everything you think you know about us, about who we are to each other, about what we've endured together, and about what might lie ahead if we choose to face this new reality. This confession is not something I've chosen to make lightly. In fact, every fiber of my being has resisted saying these words, fearing that once they're spoken, we might not be able to go back to how things used to be. Yet, the more I resist, the heavier the weight becomes, pressing on my chest until I can barely breathe. And so, in the name of honesty, no matter how daunting that honesty might be, I have to tell you what's been stirring inside my heart. You need to know that this has been building within me for a long time, like the slow swelling of a tide that eventually must crash upon the shore. It's not a fleeting doubt that floated through my mind and disappeared. It's something deeper, an unshakable sense that my emotions have been shifting, and that this shift has profound implications for us. If I tried to keep it hidden any longer, I would be betraying both myself and you, undermining the trust we've always endeavored to protect. I want to start with what should be obvious but might need reaffirmation. I have admired you, cherished you, and yes, loved you for as long as we've been together. When I speak of your beauty, I'm not simply referring to outward traits, although there is no denying you are physically radiant. The depth of your beauty, as I see it, lies in your resilience, your gentle spirit, and the way you light up a room just by being in it. I've always been drawn to your laughter, the warmth of your smile, and the serenity you bring into my often chaotic world. You have this quiet strength, an unspoken assurance that everything will be okay as long as we face it together. That reassurance has carried me through countless storms, and for that alone, you will always hold a piece of my heart. But sometimes life introduces complications that we never asked for. Feelings can be unpredictable, and people can enter our sphere in the most unexpected ways. This is where I need to be candid. There is someone else who has awakened a swirl of emotions in me that I did not anticipate, nor know how to fully control. She didn't rush into my life like a bolt of lightning, nor did she seduce me with promises of a better existence. It was more of a steady infiltration, small moments that started to accumulate until I realized I was thinking about her in times I never thought I would. A passing memory, an echo of laughter, a gesture that triggered a spark of curiosity in my mind. I am aware that just hearing there's someone else could make you feel betrayed, shocked, or deeply hurt. You might wonder if something is lacking between us, or if I've grown tired of the love we have nurtured so carefully. But I need you to understand that this isn't about finding a replacement or declaring that someone else is better or more worthy of my affection. It's more about how an unexpected connection can sprout almost anywhere, and how, no matter how much we love and admire our partner, the human heart is capable of complex feelings that sometimes catch us off guard. There is a magnetism about her that's difficult to explain. It's not strictly about physical attraction, although I won't deny that she is striking to look at. It's more about an energy, a vibrancy that seems to draw people to her. I've seen her in crowds, commanding attention without even intending to, a quiet charisma that makes people want to stand closer to hear what she has to say. Around her, conversations feel effortless, time passes quickly, and I find myself momentarily forgetting the responsibilities and pressures that ordinarily weigh on my shoulders. This sense of freedom, this carefreeness, both entices and terrifies me. In my quieter moments of introspection, I've questioned whether these feelings might simply be a symptom of craving excitement or novelty, especially considering how committed and familiar our relationship has become. We've settled into certain patterns, leaning on each other in comfortable ways. Some might call that routine, others might call it stability. Yet sometimes the very comfort of routine can leave a person susceptible to something new that jolts them awake. In that jolt, they feel alive in a different way, not necessarily a better way, but a way that stands in stark contrast to the constancy of what they already have. But this realization alone doesn't rid me of these feelings. Instead, it compels me to wonder, is it truly possible to remain steadfastly devoted to one person while feeling drawn to another? Where does that line blur between loyalty and betrayal, between innocent curiosity and emotional infidelity? If I were to bury these questions and continue as if nothing had changed, I would be creating a silent divide between us, one that, with time, could erode the closeness we've built more effectively than any external force ever could. That's why I've decided that this truth needs to be spoken aloud. You deserve to hear it from me, to look into my eyes, and see that there's no attempt to manipulate or hide. Yes, it's unsettling. And yes, it hurts me to imagine how it might hurt you. But I believe our bond is worth the chance to meet honesty head on, even if honesty stings. Without it, the foundation of our relationship, a foundation built on trust, openness, and mutual respect, will start to crack, piece by hidden piece. I need to emphasize that this does not diminish the significance of what we share. In fact, if anything, it has forced me to reckon with just how crucial our connection is to me. The very fact that I am frightened to lose you, frightened to see you in pain, or to watch the light in your eyes dim because of my words, proves how deeply I still care. But if I were to remain silent, wouldn't I be causing a greater wound by letting this lie fester under the surface? We find ourselves now at a crossroads. We can either treat this as an irreparable breach, or we can see it as an opportunity to reassess who we are, both as individuals and as partners. It might be that we decide to seek guidance, to talk to someone who can help us navigate this emotional terrain, or we might choose to work through it on our own, continuing to communicate openly. Alternatively, we might discover that these revelations are too heavy to bear, that the damage to your sense of security and trust is irreparable. The decisions we make now will shape the future of our relationship in ways we can't yet foresee. I also recognize that you might feel anger or confusion, and I acknowledge those feelings as completely valid. You might question my loyalty, my intentions, or even your own self-worth in light of what I've shared. That's why I want to reiterate. Nothing about this situation implies that you are lacking. The human heart can be contradictory. We can love deeply in one space while simultaneously feeling drawn to another. It's not always about searching for something better, but rather an unanticipated connection that runs parallel to what already exists. One key thing we must confront is how to move forward. We can talk about setting boundaries, clarifying what we mean to each other, and whether it's possible for us to regain or even deepen our sense of safety. We can also examine whether the presence of this other person is a catalyst for change. Maybe something within me needs addressing, a restlessness or yearning that has less to do with her and more to do with my own internal journey. Sometimes, external attractions spotlight internal voids or unanswered questions about who we've become. I need you to know that I value every shared moment we've created, every memory, every quiet evening, every milestone we've overcome side by side. I can't promise an easy path ahead, nor can I guarantee that acknowledging these feelings will lead to a resolution that perfectly satisfies us both. But I can promise you my sincerity and my willingness to face whatever consequences this truth brings. If we decide to stand together in the wake of this storm, I will devote myself to finding a way through it that leaves us both feeling heard and respected. This isn't a matter of me handing you an ultimatum, nor is it a way of deflecting my own responsibility for how things might unfold. I am acutely aware that I initiated this conversation, and that the risk of hurting you is very real. Yet I believe that if we really care about each other, the risk of letting a secret grow between us is far more dangerous. Love cannot truly flourish in the shadows of withheld truths. So, what do we do now? The future stretches before us with countless possibilities. We could choose counseling, deep conversations, personal reflection, or a bit of space to think about who we are and what we want. It could be a chance for you to evaluate whether you feel safe continuing this relationship under these circumstances, whether you believe we can meet this challenge head on, or if you feel you need to step away and heal on your own. There is no right or wrong answer here, no single path that guarantees the best possible outcome. What matters most is that we stay true to ourselves and to each other, even if staying true means stepping into uncharted territory. You might ask me point blank, do you still love me? The answer is yes, unequivocally. But I know that might not soothe the sting you feel right now. Love is not always enough to shield us from hurt. Sometimes it's the reason the hurt cuts so deeply in the first place. The emotional turmoil we face is born from the fact that we do care so much, that our connection means so much to both of us. Were we indifferent, this wouldn't be so painful. I stand here, vulnerable and uncertain, yet with a hopeful glimmer that truth can be a turning point rather than an end point. I believe that love, at its core, is a commitment to seeing one another fully, light and shadow, beauty and flaw. If we can see each other clearly through this, if we can stand in the aftermath of my confession and still recognize the essence of who we are, then we might emerge stronger, bound by a deeper understanding of what it means to choose each other even when the path diverges into unexpected complexities. In the end, I want you to remember that you are irreplaceable in my eyes. Your uniqueness, your laughter, your presence, those things can't be replicated by anyone else. My feelings for another person, as real as they might be, don't negate the depth of what I feel for you. They force me to confront the complexity of human emotions and the reality that love is often more layered than the simple stories we tell ourselves. Whatever you decide, whether to stand with me as we weather this tempest or to walk away in the name of preserving your own peace, I will respect and honor your choice. It is your right to determine what is best for your heart. I ask only that you understand why I've chosen to share this rather than keep it hidden. Out of respect for you and for what we've built, I believe this honesty is necessary. Silence might have spared us immediate discomfort, but it would have quietly eroded the trust that is the bedrock of our relationship. So here we are, on the cusp of a truth that can either break us apart or bind us more tightly together. The decision is not mine alone, it's ours to make, and the path forward remains uncertain. But in this moment, at least, we can say that we confronted the truth head on. And whether this leads us to clarity, renewed commitment, or separate paths, I will hold on to the conviction that honesty, though fearsome, is the most profound act of love I can offer.